Your accent, it's a very, I guess, like unique French accent. It almost sounds like you're mixing that with like an African accent. I'm like, yeah, imagine it being a French African accent.
I'm also black. Who said that? Name them now. I'm coming for you, whoever you are. What the heck?
I like laughed my ass off like initially, but then like after that I was like, wait a minute.
Microaggressive. What the fuck?
Hello, and welcome to Situaseans podcast. I'm your host, Sean Michael Williams, aka Shawnee Do. You can call me Sean, Shawnee, Shawnee Do. Does not matter to me. I'm just glad that y'all are here. Actually, we are glad that y'all are here. I have a special guest, as you can see, but before I introduce this lovely lady here, I really want to do a few housekeeping items just to make sure that, you all are up to date on all the latest things that are going on. So first and foremost, thank you for tuning into this podcast. This is Situations podcast. If you haven't noticed by now, I don't know why y'all are still listening, but if you don't know where you are listening to Situations podcast. Love you all, but I mean that with love. Of course, this podcast is about dating, relationships, mental and emotional life experiences. Ooh-wee. And yeah, there's just so much that is just going on. And I really appreciate you guys submitting your stories, your dating questions, everything about that. And now there is a feature. If you are on our link tree, like if you click on the link, you can now submit your icks as well. We love hearing about a good ick. Like if a guy is, submitting an unsolicited dick pic, if you're out on a date and the guy is just being, just nasty or just creepy, or, maybe someone is like stalking, like send us a good ick. We will unpack it here on the show. I mean, there are just so many crazy things that just go out on in the dating world, right? Especially.
Oh, I can submit a couple. A couple.
Yes, so, share and submit your icks. They are all anonymous, and we unpack it right here on the show, just like how we do with our listener submissions. So today we're going to be talking about life in the performance arts. So musical theater, music, like everything and how that all ties in together, and as well as the dating and the relationships and stuff like that we kind of go through and or are trying to, I guess, keep up with and manage in and outside of like the performance art spectrum. We all go through so much, especially us as artists. Like, you understand a crazy schedule. You understand how there's just so many different moving pieces. How do you manage life inside and outside of the arts? So we're going to be unpacking all of that as well. And so, yeah, we also have a listener submission, and the listener submission is about, switching careers and how to pursue your passions. Like, what should you do? What should you do with that? And it kind of ties in a little bit with like pursuing your passion in the arts. Now, let's kind of, pivot, because I really want to highlight our special guest here. So I'm not going to steal her thunder. So I want you all to give a very warm welcome to my special guest, Joy Marie Rogers.
Hi, everybody. My name is Joy Marie Rogers, also known as Just Joy. I'm an indie pop artist from Chicago, Illinois, who also sings about all the things we're going to talk about on the show today, like friendship and relationships and dating in your 20s. If you know, you know. And I'm just so excited to be here, Sean. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So grateful to have you here. And that's just so cool that that you're a recording artist. And just tell me a little bit more about that. Like, how did you get into that?
So I've been doing music for probably since I was 7. Mm-hmm. Not professionally, obviously. 7-year-old Joy did not know what she was doing. However, I have been releasing music for about 2-3 years. I have a single coming out next week, 10/27. It's called Hopeless, Pessimistic, Romantic.
All right.
About dating in your 20s. And it truly is where my heart is. Like, nothing brings me more joy, all puns intended, than making music, performing for people, hearing people sing my lyrics back to me. It's unmatched.
Love that. and like as a fellow, like, recording artist myself, I really appreciate like just hearing your story and just hearing how passionate you are about that. We're gonna have to collaborate.
Oh, for sure. Yes, please. Please. You hear it now, folks.
Right?
It's happening.
Exactly. Right. Y'all are a witness. So Joy and I, we have a little bit of history. We kind of know each other, as of this year. So, we're both in the production of Beauty and the Beast. But Joy, kind of expand on that. How do we know each other?
So he is quite literally the light to my Belle.
Aww.
He is Lumiere, and I am Belle, and we are fortunately in the same cast, which I'm so grateful for. I did not plan on being in Beauty and the Beast. It literally came out of nowhere, but I'm so grateful that it's created connections like this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely so heartwarming to see like other very inspired, very just I guess very dedicated artists just doing their thing, having fun. And it's been like such a pleasure doing this show with you. Like you have really made like this production like just so much fun, and you're so fucking talented.
Sean, shut up. Do not make me cry on this podcast, 'cause I will cry. That's very kind.
So I do truly hope that we get to do more shows together. Yeah.
I hope so.
And now that, you're on you're on this podcast and we will be collaborating music.
You're hearing it again. We will be collaborating.
So we're definitely gonna be keeping in contact.
For sure.
And so I kind of want to talk about like our individual dating situations. So and kind of like our status. So I want you to kind of start it off. What is your status? Are you single? Are you in a relationship? Tell the audience where you are in your life.
I am in a relationship. I am dating a man named Zach. That sounds so professional. My boyfriend's name is Zach. I don't know why I said it like that. It's a new relationship.
Yeah.
I moved from France.
He's really cute. I've met him.
I think he's really cute too. I moved from France back here after being there for a year, and we literally met the week I got home.
Wow.
Which is crazy. But we've been dating it'll be 5 months Saturday, actually.
All right. Love that.
Love him.
Does he do theater as well, or?
He does not do theater. He actually had never even seen me perform before until he came to see the show, which was really, really nice. But he does do his own music, like he raps and stuff, and is a writer.
Love that.
A very good writer.
All right. That is so amazing. And you two are just so fucking cute together.
Thank you.
Go off. Actually, go all the way the fuck off.
Thank you. We tried.
And those of you that have that listened to the previous episode, y'all know my new saying, go all the way the fuck off. There is a t-shirt. And actually, if you're watching, I'm going to put a little graphic.
A shirt?
Yes.
What?
Absolutely.
I didn't know about the t-shirt.
Yeah. I'm going to have to get you the t-shirt.
I'll order one today.
And if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to have it pop up right here. So, and there is a promo code as well. So only if you're watching YouTube, you get to see it. So I'm trying to get more of you to subscribe to the youtube.com/@Situaseanspod. So you want to know about my dating situation?
I want to know about Sean's dating situation.
All right. I mean, here we go. I mean, for those of you that are that are listening, that have listened to previous episodes, you kind of know the situation. But for some of you that are new, I know there's a lot of new folks tuning in as well. So let me kind of, I guess, give the audience a little bit about me. Yes. So I am currently single. Let's see, I've been single since August of last year.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in a relationship for about a year and a half before that, but it was a very toxic relationship because we were argue a lot, and she was she had a lot of I guess I mean, don't get me wrong, we all have baggage from our past, but she projected a lot of her baggage onto me.
Ooh, no bueno.
Exactly. And so and she didn't have a lot of outlets to, I guess, really work on herself and not she was kind of like stuck in that negative feedback loop with like the stuff that's going on in her past. Like she was abused as a child. I was abused as a child, but I had theater and all these other things to kind of like, get away from all of that negative energy where she
And you still have it too.
Exactly. Yeah. And so we would just argue every single day. And it kind of just caused a lot of, I don't know, it really made the relationship like sour very quickly. And it was just so stressful. And then I took her back again because like I left the first time, right? Mm-hmm. And then like a month later, she reached out and was like, I've changed. I want to give it another try. Nobody changes in a matter of a month. She didn't change. And it's just like, I just couldn't take it anymore because it was just starting to affect like my mental and emotional well-being on a very higher level. I was like, okay, I can't. So yeah, I've been single out here on the apps, just kind of just, I guess just having fun, for lack of better words.
Good. Have fun.
And it's like, I do want a relationship eventually, but because of like the whole move that I have going on, I
was going to ask.
Yeah. I never want to, I guess, kind of make someone, I don't want to lead somebody on and only to find out, oh, hey, by the way, I'm moving. Right. So I kind of just like let people know about that, first and foremost, like, hey, this is kind of my situation. Like if you still want to hang, cool. If not, I totally understand. We all are trying to find our, our person. So yeah, so I'm just kind of just single out here on the apps, just doing my thing, just trying to, I guess just make the most of my time while I'm still here.
Yeah, that's good. Having fun is so important.
Yeah, it is.
Dating sucks. Maybe that's just my opinion. But I don't like the process of dating. I like going on dates and I like meeting new people. But the whole like, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite drink? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh my God, could someone ask me something interesting? That's annoying. Yeah. So I hope that your dating experience is at least fun.
Yeah, they've definitely been fun, mostly. Like, I think there's only been like maybe like a couple of dating situations where it was like, okay, this is a little bit odd. Like one time I was catfished. Odd? Yeah, odd. I was catfished. Someone did not look anything like their pictures, and I was trying to figure out like what's going on.
Like not even kind of. Like it wasn't an old picture.
Exactly, it was like a picture from like 8-10 years ago. I'm just like...
So it was the same person.
Yeah, but they just look completely different. Like different hairstyle. Like they had they had long hair, but then like in the pictures or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then in person they had short hair. It was a great hairstyle, but I'm just like, okay, you look completely different. None of your pictures are representing what you look like
currently.
Yeah. And this is kind of how I feel. Maybe some people feel differently, but it's like, at least I say maybe like 3 years is the cutoff on like the oldest picture that you can have on like you know what I mean? Because I understand some people out there don't take pictures often, but if that photo from 3 years ago is like closer to what you look like today, like I can accept that. But if it's like, come on, let's be a little bit mindful about,
Oh, for sure. I don't even look how I looked like a year ago, so I cannot imagine like using pictures from 8 years ago.
Right.
Especially as like a real adult. Like we're not like newly adults. So that's weird because they would be like pictures from like high school and stuff.
Yeah, it's like early college or like I guess like early college or post college whatever or high school. Yeah, it's just like ridiculous.
No.
It's just like
that's weird.
Yeah. So I'm just out here just just making the most of my time, of course, and then just getting to like meet different people from different walks of life. So yeah,
that's good. Yeah. Maybe you'll luck out. Like I met Zach, and I also led with I am moving to Los Angeles, and no one is stopping me from going.
Right,
I am going, and he ironically, because he's a writer, also wants to move.
Yeah,
so it just worked out. So maybe you'll meet your person, or you'll move to LA, and everybody there's beautiful. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You can date there.
Yes. Kind of just starting off in like for our topic today, especially like the life of a theater actor. It's just so much that goes into that. It is a very, I would like to say, dynamic and complex life.
Yeah. To put it nicely.
Yes. And like, don't get me wrong, like, it's a fulfilling experience, and being able to portray different characters and kind of like bring a director's vision to life. There's so much that goes on with that, or even getting into like the mindset of a character. That's really cool. But yeah, you're meeting people from different walks of life. I mean, you meet some people that are cool, some people that, you might not,
They never talk to you again.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, I'm just trying to get through the show.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all been there.
Oh, yeah. Yes, we have.
And then, the fun of just entertaining so many people and just like hundreds of thousands, depending on where you're performing at. I think that's another like great thing as well.
I love it. Like, you get on stage and truly nothing that preceded that day or that week or what's going to happen after matters.
Yeah.
Like, all that matters is, okay, for a minute, even if I had a really bad day, right now I'm Belle. Belle doesn't have bad days. So, boom, I can just like dissociate from everything else. It's nice to have that outlet for sure.
Absolutely. And I feel like, I definitely agree, because so much stuff that goes on in our personal lives, I feel like being on the stage kind of, it allows us just to kind of escape it for that hour or two or however long that we're on stage.
Everybody needs an escape.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And, when you're really deep into it, it kind of it doesn't feel like work. It just feels like, hey, I'm doing my passion. I'm doing my hobby. I'm happy. I'm in my element.
Yes. And I know we'll talk about it later, but I think that's such a big part of like committing to your passions. It should never feel like work.
Right.
I'm a person who doesn't like to work. So I don't like
Same.
to feel like I'm working ever. So having theater and music and all of the arts my entire life has never felt like, oh, I have to work for this. Or even when I am working for something, like, I am busting my ass as Belle right now.
Yeah.
My double is very talented. So even in working for it, it's still like rewarding, and it doesn't feel like work, which is great.
That's so amazing, because there are so many people out there that do pursue a hobby or that do pursue a passion. And sometimes to them, like, it can feel like it is work, because like maybe, I don't know, maybe it's like they have a lot of stressful things that come along with it. Or maybe maybe they're just like, you know what? There's so much stress. I can't find the value in this. I'm just not having fun in my hobby. And it's just like, I just feel so bad for them, because it's like, in our hobby or in our passion, for us, it's like, I love this,
It's like a breath of fresh air.
It really, really is. So it's so important to be able to just find your hobby, find what you love most. And, because at the end of the day, if you're always work, and you're never doing anything that I guess that makes you feel passionate, that makes you feel good, then you're in a sense not living your life to the fullest almost, know? So
we're way too young to just work.
Exactly.
My mom hears me say this all the time. Like, I cannot be a person who just works. Mm-hmm. It's miserable. There's no fun in just having a job. I think even if like you're doing a job associated with the arts, like, people ask me, why don't you, because I went to school for teaching. So people will be like, why aren't you teaching music? Why aren't you teaching theater? It's not the same.
Right.
As like being on stage and being the character and performing or doing your own music or having people sing your songs back to you. It's a completely different experience. So I think really just like leaning into what makes your heart happy is important, and way more important than what other people think you should be doing or what brings the money in. I believe the money will always find you.
Absolutely.
I am not homeless yet. So the money will always find you. Hopefully never.
Yes. Because in the perfect world, if we could do this at like full time, whereas like theater, music is bringing in the money, bringing in like the bread and butter.
The dream. But people are doing it. That's the thing. So like, it is possible. It's not impossible. Because there are people who are doing it. There are people that we look up to who are like, oh, I want that person's life.
Exactly.
Or who inspire you to be like, okay, these are the steps I need to do to get there. Which I guess makes me feel slightly better. It's hard not to compare yourself to other people's experiences that way. But
Absolutely, absolutely. And, I think this is another thing as well that's complex, but it's an important topic to speak on is just, being a person of color, it's like, especially in theater, don't get me wrong, like performing in theater and everything like that, or being in like in the performance art space, it's fulfilling. We love doing it, but at the same time, there are so many challenges that come with it because there's not as many opportunities for us as there are for our counterparts. And then sometimes we have to work twice as hard to get, half as many opportunities, roles, credits, etc.
I think it's also hard too when you play a role that has only been done by non-people of color,
right?
Specifically white people, and trying to find inspiration of what does this mean to me. So for me right now, being Belle, it's my first lead ever, and it's also my dream show. Like Beauty and the Beast is my favorite show in the entire world. But the only black Belle I truly know of who's been publicized is Toni Braxton, and I am not an Elso by any means possible. Cannot sing those notes whatsoever. I think it's hard because my double sounds like Paige O'Hara. She sounds like Kelly, all the people who have played Belle before. So trying to find what it means to me as a person of color, as someone who doesn't look like the cartoon, has been tricky and hard, but also rewarding because I don't sound like anybody who has done it. At least I don't think I do this far. So I don't know. I feel like it's whatever you want to call this.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Rewarding, but definitely a lot of work. Like you said, we do have to work almost twice as hard to prove our place, especially in places that are not dominated by people who look like us, to prove I got this role because I had the talent and I deserved it. Not just because, I don't know, because I'm a person of color or anything silly like that.
Right. Absolutely. No, I'm so glad that you touched on that because I agree with you, tenfold because there are so many roles that I've taken on in the past. And it's this role is originally for a white person. How am I supposed to relate to this? How can I make it my own? I definitely appreciate the opportunities that I get whenever they come in. And even with playing Lumiere, I guess this role was probably one of the most fun I've had, as fun roles I've had in a while. Because
so good.
Because, he's just laid back. He's just he's very
so
flirtatious,
role.
I'm just wow, okay, yeah, this is kind of how I am. Yeah, I'm fun, I'm laid back. I'm a little flirtatious here and there, So I was okay, cool. I can kind of play this up. Well, when it comes to the French accent, and I am by no means French. I'm not. I guess my mom's side of the family, we're French Creole, but I'm not what I mean. I'm not authentic French. I'm not franc. So
it's okay. You're killing it though. The accent is.
Thank you. Mademoiselle, thank you. But yeah, so it's kind of funny, someone in the cast was your accent, it's a very, I guess, unique French accent. It almost sounds like you're mixing that with an African accent. I'm yeah, imagine it being a French African accent.
I'm also glad. Who said that? Name them now. I'm coming for you, whoever you are. What the heck?
I laughed my ass off initially, but then after that I was wait a minute.
Microaggressive. What the fuck? I don't like that.
I'm gonna have to tell you offline.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll talk.
But
no, I think
but the intent was, I know the intent was pure,
yes,
but at the same time it was still
wait a minute. What do you mean by that?
It's all so but yeah.
I think too, it makes auditioning, especially living in Chicago, which is such a big place for theater, it makes auditioning a little harder because you never know what a director's thinking. Some directors are really open to, I don't care what the original version of the character looked like. Whoever has a talent gets it. And then there are other people who 110% always typecast. And that's hard because, I have always been I can only play, supporting roles, or I can only be the black role, whatever is the, or anything that's typically black. But the reaction after like opening night as Belle, no kid is like, oh my gosh, that Belle is brown. Like they're just like, Belle, 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 Belle. Like it doesn't matter to them. And honestly, kids are like, their opinion is really important because they're like super honest and just so innocent. Like they have no, I guess, cloud of judgment from the fucked up world we live in.
Right.
So I don't know. I think like for me, being Belle has opened so many doors in my brain to not hold back for an audition because the worst they can say is no, but you never know unless you go and do it.
Right, right.
So.
And you have been such a phenomenal Belle. Like I can't reiterate enough. And just seeing like the kids and all the, you know, it it really brought like tears to my eyes, especially that performance that we had at Warrenville, the closing performance at Warrenville, when, you know, those little black girls, like they were just
so excited.
They came in their dresses, like their Belle dresses, and they gave you a hug, and it was like, we love you, and like that.
It was so sweet.
Like that touched my heart. So
right before I went on, Misty.
Yeah.
She came backstage and she was like, there are two little black girls who are sitting in the front in their Belle dresses, and they came up to her. I don't know why. Maybe she looked important because she was walking around. And they were like, is Belle brown? And she was like, yeah, she is brown. And they were like, she's going to look like us.
Wow.
I started crying. Like, before I had to be like, Little Town. I'm literally backstage like, why would you tell me that before I have to go on? Like, now I'm emotional.
And that was such a great performance.
It was fun.
Yeah, I just felt, I don't know what it was. I think, you know, I felt so inspired during that performance because the Friday performance, everything that could go wrong did go wrong with me at least. Yeah. My candle, the little light fell out of the candle thing in the middle of a scene.
Nice.
And, you know, Max, our beast, we're just looking like we're like doing our thing, it just falls. We're just like, yeah, so you need to break the spell, master. Like kicking the little light to the back. But thank goodness, you know, Misty, who put together our props, she was like, you know, very, very, very great, like to work with. She's phenomenal. She was able to kind of like fix it and all. But yeah.
My dress broke.
Oh, no.
Yeah, if this person is watching this, listen to this. Okay, so there's the whole like Belle reprise.
You in trouble.
No, you are in trouble. And I'm like, I don't have much money in this provincial life. And then I like spin. Apparently the wire in the hoop skirt came out. I didn't know this.
Oh.
And it went like in the audience. And some lady grabbed it and pulled it out. And apparently took it home. Like my mom was sitting across from this lady and watched her like pull it out and also watched her go home with it. Then the other part fell during the scene right before I meet the Beast, and it was on the ground, so when he's, like, giving me the tour, I'm, like, trying to kick it to the side. So you just hear, like, Mariana's dad recorded that night, so you probably just hear metal scraping the ground, and me, like, trying not to fall.
No.
Adrian tried to pick it up, but he had, like, paws.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So he dropped it, and then Max tried to grab it, but he couldn't get it because of his paws.
That's what that thing was. I was like wondering what that sound was.
That some lady now owns. I don't know why she thought to take it.
She was like, you know what? This is a phenomenal Belle. I need to get
a memoir.
Right? What the fuck? I need all the memorabilia. So like, you know, like when she blows up, because you're going to blow up, she going to be like, I saw that show.
I have the hoop skirt. I have the wire from the hoop skirt. What the like, I would have taken a picture with you, like literally anything. No.
But no, she needed a piece of the dress.
Apparently. It's like, all right, okay.
Sometimes, especially like doing shows and stuff like that, there are production issues and stuff like, you know, like sometimes like either like a theater is understaffed or maybe there's so many moving pieces going on that sometimes the ball will get dropped. That happens.
Yes.
I've been in shows where it's like there are cast members that won't even help with a set, like I get what we call like with a costume change, and it's like someone's got to go on, and it's like, you know,
and they're like the only person in the wing who can help.
Exactly, like
Come on.
Right. It's like they don't have to go on for like another like 10, 15 minutes, and they're just like,
I can't do it. Sorry.
Right. It's
what?
like so. You know, I try to handle situations like that to the best of my abilities by being like, okay, hey, if I have an issue, I'm going to go directly to the source, to the person, and say, hey, I need your help with this, or hey, I'm trying to get this done, and like I feel like we're kind of clashing. Can we figure out how we can like, come to a united front so that we can get past this show? I don't want the drama. I don't want the bullshit. Yep. Like, let's just, get through it. I mean, like, have you experienced stuff like that? Like,
I have for sure. And I think like going directly to the person is the only way to make sure there is still some form of a relationship moving forward. Because the theater community, even though it's big, it's really small. Like, more than likely, you're going to end up running into that person again in an audition or in a show, or they're friends in a show, so they come see the show, and you don't want the drama. Exactly. It's not worth it. Like, on stage, we're all supposed to be, like, one sound mind, one sound body. We're all there for the same reason, to perform for whoever came to see us. That's it. Exactly. It shouldn't be like, oh, I can't dance with this person now because we have beef. Like, grow up.
Exactly.
Grow up.
It's like, let's get through the production and then hate me after the show is
Literally,
over.
like, I can't control how you feel when this is over, but we're dance partners. Please just tolerate me, I guess, for this 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Exactly. And yeah, and kind of like a couple of things that, I think is really important. Like, you kind of want to talk about like the competitiveness of this field, and what is your take on like anything as far as like imposter syndrome or anything that comes along with that in the performance art space?
I am the queen of imposter syndrome. Very, very good at it. If anyone needs some help, just hit me up. I think it's a very competitive field because we all want the same thing. Like, we all have the big dream. We all have some version of our name being in the lights and stuff. And so I think, especially in this field, no one is different than the other person, which is a big learning experience for me, because growing up, like, I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything, but this goes with the imposter syndrome. This is the perfect place to toot your own horn. No, I'm not tooting my own horn. But growing up, like, I was, like, the performer in everything. Like, the kid who got straight A's, the valedictorian, the student speaker. Like, I got the full scholarship to college. Like, I was the best at everything until I got into college, and then there was competition, and I was like, what? Someone is better than me at my own thing? Which creates this really bad, like, mental space of not allowing yourself to be able to fail or not be the best at something, because there will always be someone better than you. Yeah. Always. Yeah. Forever and always. And that's okay, because you can learn from them. You can use them as inspiration. At the end of the day, though, like, when you get on stage or you walk into an audition or you record that song, like, that person doesn't matter. And that's something I've learned in being Belle, because it has been a lot of imposter syndrome. But I got the role, and I haven't been cut from the role, so clearly the director liked me enough to give it to me. And I just have to remember, like, when I'm on stage, my double doesn't matter. The people who have been Belle before doesn't matter. Like, the audience will only know me. So I have to give my best, whatever that is that day. Absolutely.
No, for sure. Like, it really is a competitive field. And sometimes we can feel lost. Like, wow, am I supposed to be here? Because it's like, I thought I was perfect for this role. And then, I can't tell you how many times like that has happened to me. I'm like, I was really good for this role, but somebody else like that, or even like, wow, this role I can see myself in. And it's like, or even if it's like a role that's made for a person like me, which is rare, like us, like, which is rare. It's like, and it's just like, we didn't get the role because it went to somebody else, or God forbid it's whitewashed.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, don't even get me started. I had a theater want to do Hairspray reversed.
Oh my God. So
let us have our own show. Like, there aren't that many, okay? There aren't that many. Let us have it. Hairspray was written very specifically.
Yes.
Tracy cannot. What are you doing? Oh my God.
There was a high school that put on a production of Hairspray, and they didn't have, I guess, any black people in the cast. Yeah. And what they did was they had the white kids, play the black ensemble.
Did they paint them?
Thank goodness, no.
Okay, that's good. Have you seen The Prince of Egypt? Like, on Broadway?
I've never seen it on Broadway. Is it?
You need to look that up. I'm pretty sure it's Broadway. Or if it's not Broadway, it's somewhere in London. Like a London theater did it.
Okay.
Which,
yes.
London. And
enough said, right?
Yeah.
London.
So they had white people play all these people who live in Egypt and painted them like the color of this table.
Wow.
Like not even like kind of tan. Like,
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to send you that picture because.
Yes, please do.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And I think, last but not least, but like being a performer can really be intense because like, the demand of production schedules, trying to like, also keep up your like relationships outside of theater, even sharpening our skills as an actors, going to classes. So I know for me, it is so stressful. I try my best to keep up with it. It's a lot. But yeah, like I think what I try to do is whenever I'm not in a show, I'll take, an acting class. Like usually there's like a Tuesday acting course that I do. Shout out Anthony Mindel, Actors Workshop. But yeah, so we love it. So I try to like do that. I constantly audition for shows and stuff like that to keep, adding shows to the resume and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, it's a lot.
It is so much. Like finding the balance of fully committing yourself to your passion and your arts, but also being like, oh wait, I have like friends and I have a boyfriend and I have a family who also existed before the show and will also exist after the show. It's hard to balance all of that. Mm-hmm. And also to not feel like, kind of going back to that imposter syndrome thing, to not feel like you're not doing enough. I struggle with, because I'm like, okay, I'm taking the classes, I'm putting the music out, I'm doing this, but I'm like, but this person put out a whole album in like 6 months, or they've got this many followers. And I don't know, it's just really hard to not compare yourself throughout the process and to just trust your own journey.
Yeah, especially with like the rise of social media and how there's just so much access. You can just easily see what the other person's doing. You can easily see, how other people are excelling or just killing it in their field and in their game. And it's just like, dang, like when is it my turn?
Right.
When do I get to finally get the spotlight? Yeah. So yeah, no, it
is hard.
It really is. It really is.
And moving to like Los Angeles, it's just gonna get harder. Like it'll be great because like the opportunities are bigger. Like there's more opportunities to get seen by so many more people. But at the same time, it's like everyone is there for the same thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you like really have to trust yourself and trust that you're doing enough, more than enough.
Right.
If you're putting in the work, like some people don't even take the classes outside of. They just audition and think they're hot shit.
Right.
Everybody needs a class here or there.
Exactly. The life of a recording artist. Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about it.
So, another thing is like that kind of like it's in line with the whole theater performance art. But when it comes to music and everything, yeah, you're still performing in front of a lot of people. You're inspiring people through like the music. You're and I think what's really cool, especially about being an independent artist, is like you are in control of your music, like
so nice.
the direction that you want to go, the release schedule, the people you want to collaborate with, like who are you using to distribute your music? You own the publishing, you own the masters.
I think there's some niceness like in comparing being a recording artist to being like a theater actor. I think there's more niceness in how independent and how there is nothing to compare your experience to. Versus in theater, like, there was always someone who did the role before you, so someone is always thinking about what preceded it. Versus, if I write a song, no one has heard it.
Right.
Like, it's going to be very new to your ears. It's going to be the first time you've heard it. Maybe I'm the first person who put out this content this way. That's really nice for me. Like, it gives me some creative freedom. More creative freedom, I think, sometimes more than, like, theater can.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, even just with the flexibility of like deciding like the schedule of when you want to go to the studio, like when do you want to be able to kind of tour and stuff like that. I think that's really, really good as well. And then just collaborating with other like-minded musicians and like kind of like how we were talking about. Yeah, like
we are collaborating. It's happening.
It is. So I definitely appreciate that aspect as well. And there are, and like you hear, especially on social media now, you hear about a lot of these artists that are like big name artists that are in major label deals and like how they're not happy with their deals or how they can't decide on the music that they want to release, or they're just tied up in all these, contract negotiations and stuff like that. And it's like, at one point I used to be like, yeah, I really want a record deal. But now I'm just like, yo, if I ever get big enough, like, I don't know.
When you get big enough.
Yes, when.
We manifest over here, okay?
Right? When we get big enough.
When we get big enough.
I just feel like when that happens, I would just have to be like, I'm sorry, I don't want to deal. If anything, if y'all want to work with me, yeah, maybe a label can just handle, I don't know, some of like the, maybe like some of like the tour stuff, like, you know what I mean? Like I get the larger percentage, y'all can get a little bit or whatever, but I would just be so picky about the deal that I would take if I decided to go that route.
Oh yeah. I think it's nice to be an independent artist because you have all this freedom. Do you know the artist Iniko?
I'm thinking of Janine Aiko, but no.
No. Okay, so there's an artist that I found through doing the h.p.r. Tiny Desk contest.
Oh yeah,
you should look into that if you have not.
I love that.
And they are like the most. I've never seen an artist more themselves, like ever. Like their sound is like nothing I've ever experienced before.
Yeah,
the way they dress and present themselves is not like anything I've ever seen before. And they really, truly were independent, like pushing their own music out, doing everything pretty much through TikTok and Instagram. And this past year, they got signed by Columbia.
Wow.
But because they're so like themselves, I feel like Columbia has not made them do anything differently.
Wow.
Like even the stuff they've recently released under Columbia, like is still the same person who was on TikTok like years ago, the same person who I saw audition. So I think setting your name and who you are before you even start to look for a record label or a deal or anything like that is really important. Because I think I have mentioned it before, but like I feel like some artists jump too soon.
Yeah.
And I think when you do that, you don't know who you are as an artist. And that leaves way more room for people to tell you who you are as an artist. And you don't want that.
Right, exactly. No. Like we love creative control over our own work, body of work. So it's so important to have that and stay true to yourself. And, and I think it's cool to be able to just, be able to like write and produce music that speak to you and the topics or even things that you care about, whether it be social issues, whether it be love, whether it be, that like things that you wish would happen. I think that's another cool thing too about just like the creative process. There is no limit as to what you create. So yeah, I think this one is also another thing to kind of bring up. But you want to kind of talk about like the competitiveness of this field and kind of talk more about the decision making, especially in this realm.
It is also very competitive because music is so subjective. I think there will always be a person who will listen to what you create. Yeah. Because I know, like, no offense, I've heard some music where I'm like, what the fuck is this? And they have a following because there is a niche for every single ear. And I love that. That's like one of my favorite things about music. So as long as you put in the work, I know that you'll reap the benefits from it. It doesn't make it any less competitive when everyone is always comparing you to something that has preceded it.
Ooh, yes.
So, like, I'm an indie pop artist, but I have inspirations of other sounds because I like to listen to music. And I think every artist has inspirations. Like, music is not, like, being recreated today. Like, we're really just, like, pulling inspirations from a variety of things and maybe creating a new sound, but no one is, like, starting pop for the first time tomorrow. It has existed for years before and will exist for years later. So sometimes that's hard because you have to find the niche of, okay, it has to be similar enough where it catches someone's ear to put on their playlist. Like, oh, this sounds like one of my favorite artists. Like, I want to keep this around. But also, it has to be unique enough where it doesn't sound like you're trying to be someone who has already existed.
Right.
I don't think I sound like anybody, so you should look up Just Joy.
Yes. iTunes. Are you on Spotify too?
Yes.
All right.
Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, all the places that you like to listen to your favorite music. Just Joy, one word. JUSTJOY.
Love that. Mm-hmm. Love it.
How do you deal with comparison, man? Especially as a musician and an artist. How do you deal with it?
That is a really good question. I feel like, yeah, even kind of, just in my own realm, it's like, I don't really have a sound or like an artist that I really sound like, because whenever I rap, because I rap and I sing, so I love both, but it's like I really don't sound like anybody. And whenever I rap, I like to speed rap. But sometimes, I'll kind of, rap a little slow or whatever. But I don't know. And on top of that, whenever I write music, whenever I'm performing, I don't like to stick with one flow. I like to kind of change it up to kind of keep the people, reeled in.
Yes.
And it's so hard not being compared to something, because sometimes I'll kind of get a little experimental and do like that auto-tune rap kind of thing or whatever. And whenever I do, someone will be like, "Oh yeah, like I like this. This is almost like a little baby," or this is like, or like I'm like, "Oh God,"
It's like, that's not what I wanted you to hear when you listen to this.
Exactly. So sometimes it's hard to not take it personal whenever someone is comparing you to like another artist. I know it like whenever someone does it to me, I'm like, it's not supposed to sound like that. Like, this is just me or whatever. So I guess the way that I see it is, I'm like, well, because they've never heard my sound before, they're automatically trying to see, okay, where does this fit? Because like I like it, or this sounds like this, and I want to find me as the audience. I want to find how I can associate it with. So let me categorize it.
Exactly. I agree. I think for me with comparison, because I don't think I sound like anybody either. For me, like, my biggest issue with comparison and being an artist is comparing my journey to other people's journey. Like we talked about, like, especially with how big social media is, you can just see anything and everything now.
Oh yeah.
And having lived in France and getting like so many inspirations from European artists, I think it's interesting that in America, there's like this push, not just in music, but in anything that you are great in, that you have to have it all figured out by a young age. Like,
right.
You're 25. Why have you not done XYZ? Or like some of the bigger artists here in America are in their young 20s. But all of my favorite European artists are in their 30s and 40s. And I always found that interesting because they're huge out there and no one's talking about, like, there is no push for, you need to be like signed and everything by your 20s or it's over. Like, your life is over and you can't do it. Like, you can't enter the music scene. Whereas here, I don't feel like that many artists, especially now, especially the ones that are being pushed on TikTok and Instagram and stuff, are older.
Right.
They're all in their 20s, which makes you, at least me, I'm like, oh my God, I'm 25. Damn. But at the same time, I have to be like, you're only 25.
Yeah.
There's so much time.
Absolutely. Sometimes I get afraid of being called an old head, especially, like, I like to say I'm 29. I'm 29.
You're not
forever,
old.
But I'm only 31 or whatever. But yeah.
You're not old.
I know, right? But it's just like, yeah, kind of to your point, whenever I see like these young Lils or whatever, they're like,
so many littles.
Right?
There's so many fucking littles.
So many littles. So whenever like, like you see like these like rappers are like, 23, 22, 20, like early 20s. And it's like, oh God, like if like when I break out, are they going to be like, this old motherfucker?
They won't. They'll be like, oh my God, finally something that's fucking different because all the littles sound the same. What the hell? It's the same. Don't even get me started. I'm not a rapper by any means, but like the rap scene is so like, who is different today?
Right. Everybody
on the radio, it's like the same song every 3 minutes.
And remember when we were growing up, remember the days, I know, right? Like the days when we were growing up, remember how like artists, like they were so set on like everybody being different. Like if you were the same back then, like you would get canceled or just written off. Now it's like if you it's like the opposite. It's like if you are different,
it's gonna take you longer to like get seen.
Yeah, like it's crazy.
Which I get it, like labels want what's popular because you want what's gonna sell. But at the same time, you're selling the same thing. Like
exactly.
When does it stop? What is the lie?
Another thing with dating in the performance art space is dating and maintaining a career and where is the line between the two? Because you hear about showmances, especially in theater. And there's some showmances like in our production, like, we're not going to air anybody out, but and it's not right, exactly. It's not a bad showman. It's a great showman. We love it. So we're not trying to make
some of them.
Right.
Whatever.
But yeah, so there's always a showman's, like whether it's like in theater, even like in the performance art space, as far as like music and stuff like that. I've seen some couple artists that like have gotten together, like, oh, like I met this person at a show, and now
we're dating.
Right, exactly.
Only for a month. Ask me why I know that.
Same. Same.
Don't date the musician.
Right.
Don't date the musician.
Look, guys, if you are in the performance space, don't date the other person like that's in there with you.
No.
Otherwise, Joe and I were going to look at you like this.
Yeah, we're judging you.
Yeah, so like me personally, like especially with rehearsing and doing the shows, the production schedule, being like how intense, especially in this show, like it's been intense. We've been going hard.
It's been almost 5 months, man.
We've been going hard for so long.
I didn't realize that until I was like, oh my gosh, we have like a break.
Right.
It's like, we've been doing this since June.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Right.
Unpaid.
Exactly. So we've been, going just going intensely at this, and I guess in a couple of times in the past, my theater schedule has been the reason why some matches have been like, you know what, I can't, we're on opposite schedules, you do a lot of shows, I get it, you're pursuing your passion, but it's not something for me.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, I get it, Yeah. And I've come to realize that I match the best with people that have just as intense schedules because they're doing their thing. They get it. I'm doing my thing. And and it's like, there is somebody that I'm, hanging out with, having fun with. And
are you watching this? Hey.
Right, hello.
Hey.
And so she has a very intense schedule as well.
Is she a musician?
No.
Okay.
But she does, but not to kind of like give out like what she, like her information or whatever.
Yes,
but she's
Don't
involved.
dox the girl.
Right, exactly. But she is kind of in the arts space in general.
Okay.
So
that's good.
Yeah. But she's not an artist herself.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's traveling all the time. And so, we still manage to hang out once a week, still go out on quality dates and stuff like that.
Nice.
And get to know each other and all that. But she understands it and there's never been like an issue. And I'm like, wow, like this is really cool. Too bad, too bad she doesn't want to move to LA, which is absolutely fine. She has a remote job, which is so cool, but Chicago.
She doesn't want to move to LA today.
Right, today. Mm-hmm. But I think one of the things is when it comes to like family life, I definitely want kids. And right now she's kind of leaning towards like, no, because like she loves kids, but she's saying like, it's probably not for her, which is absolutely fine, you know? And so, but our connection is just like so cool. It's just like, dang, in another life, we could have definitely seen where the where it could have gone. But yeah, like what is like your production schedule in theater and music. How do you manage that with your relationship, with your family? Like, tell me all about it.
It has definitely been hard. And like when I was dating around, that was one of like my deal breakers because no one is going to get in the way of me and my passions. No one.
Go all the way the fuck off.
So I had to find someone who understood that, who understood what my music meant to me, what performing means to me, but also what comes with that. Like, I will be busy. I may not be on my phone all the time. I may be like not able to see you every week. Unfortunately, like my boyfriend, like when we met, I wasn't doing a show. So we were seeing each other quite a bit. And only in like the tech rehearsals of Beauty and the Beast, we were like, oh my God. Like, I haven't seen you in 2 weeks. And we also like just recently adopted a cat.
Aww.
And so I didn't see my cat for like a month.
Oh,
like
no.
he was literally like this big and now he's like a real cat when I saw him last. But he's been nothing, both of them, my cat and my boyfriend, have been nothing but supportive of me because they get it. They know what the end goal is. And also they understand, I don't know why I'm talking about my cat now. My boyfriend understands that it'll only get busier because I plan on only getting bigger and doing more. And it's nice to have someone who understands that.
Absolutely. Go all the way the fuck off. We love that.
We want like 7 children, so he's got to get used to being busy.
Love it. And I will be fun Uncle Sean, so.
Yes! Take to the beach.
Yes. And I think on the music side of things, I found that I've been able to be way more flexible in the dating scene on the music side of things because, you know, I can go to the studio whenever, like, you know, I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I got all the music written. I got all like the beats or the instrumentals or everything composed and conducted. I'm ready to jump right on.
Do you record near here?
Yeah, so I record at Soundscape Studios. Yeah, Soundscape is over in, what's that area? Ukrainian Village. It's
okay.
Western and Chicago Avenue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, and they've recorded Chance the Rapper's first album there. Yeah, they've done like, who else has been there? Lil Durk, Lil Bibby. They've had some really notable Chicago artists come up and do a lot of stuff over there.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I highly recommend.
Yeah.
And then Complex 2010, and they're in the South Loop. And they've done like a lot of Chicago artists as well, and then artists, you know, come in from out of town. But lately, I've been recording a lot of my music in Atlanta. I've been flying down.
Awesome.
Oh, thank you.
That's like the best place to be for rap. Like Atlanta and like parts of Nashville is the place to be.
Yes, absolutely. And even last year when I was in Atlanta, I was over at Ocean Bravo Studios, and like they. You know what? I'm just dropping all these names. Can y'all sponsor the show, by the way?
Please. Hit up 2 independent artists. I'm not a rapper, but I am a musician.
She's a beautiful singer. Okay. So, so when I was down there, they recorded Post Malone. They recorded Katy Perry's Teenage Dream album. So it's just like... And so cool. So like the songs that they recorded for me, oh my God, like they're out of this world. Like not to toot my own horn, but I was like,
toot your own horn, honk honk,
right?
Toot toot toot.
But I was like, damn, like the quality of this production, like okay, they were able to find my sound within like like a day of working with me. So I'm like, okay, now I got to keep, flying down there and just doing my stuff down there. Yeah. So when it's like I'm on a budget, I'll stay and record, here. Yeah. But if it's like the songs that's like, okay, I want this song to be a big production value,
You'll go to Atlanta.
Yeah. So,
nice.
And, shout out to, I guess like my hybrid job. Cause like I work, I go into the office a couple days a week, but whenever I'm remote, I'm, trying to like, get, I'm online, I'm working. But as soon as I get offline, if to any of my coworkers that are watching, whenever I get offline, I'm like, all right, time to like jump into like
also working.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Today is a great day to start your own podcast. Whether you're looking for a new marketing channel, have a message you want to share with the world, or you just think it would be fun to have your own talk show, Podcasting is an easy, inexpensive, and fun way to expand your reach online. Buzzsprout is hands down the easiest and best way to launch, promote, and track your podcast. Your show can be online and listed in all the major podcast directories like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more within minutes of finishing your recording. Hey, can I let you in a little secret? So I use Buzzsprout to host Situaseans podcast, and let me tell you, it has been the easiest tool I've ever come across for publishing and running a podcast. Podcasting isn't hard when you have the right partners, and the team at Buzzsprout is passionate about helping you succeed. So come on, join over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout to get their message out to the world. Follow the link in the show notes, and that'll let Buzzsprout know that we sent you. And guess what? That gets you $20 credit if you sign up for a paid plan, and overall, that helps support our show. Let's create something great together. We have a great listener submission here, so I want you all to really, sit back and relax, and we're going to dive right through it. So let's dive into that listener submission. This one's really cool. I really like it. Thank you so much to the listener that submitted. I really appreciate it. Like you feeling open and transparent enough to share. So let's go ahead and dive right on in. So this submission says, "Hi. Love your podcast." Oh, thank you. It's always super relatable and helpful. I was wondering if you could address something that's been truly weighing heavily on my heart and mind. How do you determine what your dream is, like your dream career? Since I was a kid, I thought I wanted to be on Broadway. I won competitions, have been doing theater for 10 plus years. It was always something that I wanted to do. But now lately, as I've been exploring different avenues, I'm not so sure anymore. I feel like there's so many things I want to accomplish and do for a living, quote unquote, and there's not enough time to do it all. There are so many careers that I want to get into, but if I'm afraid to leave the marketing industry, even though marketing is not something I want to continue anymore. I want to help people. I want to work with nonprofits, but I also would love to be like a skydiving instructor, pro ice skater, singer, dancers. I want to do it all. Side note, go all the way the fuck off. Do it all.
Do it all.
I also just want freedom. I can't do 9 to 5 anymore. It's slowly killing me. Yeah. I feel you. Felt and heard. Mm-hmm. I don't want to put in 50, 60 hours a week of my life into a job I'm not even passionate about. We're supposed to live life to the fullest, right? So how do you switch careers when you don't know what you want to do next? How do you figure out what your dream is? Sorry for the long message. I really appreciate you taking the time to read this. Thank you. Signed, Dreamer. Well, I appreciate you, Dreamer. We appreciate you. We do. Like this, you're not alone. There are so many people out there that have those same questions. Like, how do I make a transition in my life to pursue these other passions that I really want to do? Like, I don't want to just feel stuck. And because we all go through periods of our lives where we just feel stuck in one place. Oh. So, exactly. So we feel you, the audience, everybody that's listening, everyone that's watching, to the listener, we all resonate with you because you are not alone. So thank you for pretty much just saying what we're all thinking, like in our own individual lives. So kind of just starting off, before we're switching careers, you definitely want to come up with a game plan, so how do you want to navigate that next chapter of your life? So, first and foremost, like your source of income, you got to make sure that you got to make sure that
everybody's got to eat.
Yes. So, maybe it's a matter of staying with the employer until you're able to kind of cross over into whatever's next for you. Mm-hmm. Even making a list of the things that you want to do. I mean, what is it called? Those dream or vision boards?
Vision boards. Yeah.
So even that, so if you kind of have a list of the things that you want to do, you can compile that list and say, okay, which of these that I'm able to tackle, which of these is going to require certain certain things, certain like certifications, certain like training, whatever it is that you end up in. Do your research. So yeah, I think it's definitely a lot to go into it. But yeah, anything like do you want to speak to that? Like,
so this question hits home so hard for me because I did exactly what you're talking about, Dreamer. I was a teacher for 3 years, one of them being abroad. And I have never in my life been more sad and unhappy and lonely than I was in teaching because it wasn't where my heart truly was. Like, in the beginning, it was what I wanted to do, but I was losing the feeling for it and the joy in it and the happiness in going to work. Like, I spent more time crying going to work than I should have. And no one needs to live like that. Like you said, I can't do the 50 to 60 hours a week, especially when life is supposed to be fun. So my second year of teaching, what I would do is I would teach all day. And then at night, like literally the second school was over, like 3:45 p.m., I was going home to change and like put makeup on and stuff. And then I would drive like an hour and a half into like the biggest city closest to me and just like go perform anywhere. Open mics, coffee shops, the street, like people's houses, literally anything that I could do to get seen. And it made me realize, like, it put both of the things in front of me. Like, I had to look at, is this just a passion for me, or is this really where I need to be? Or do I need to stay with teaching and maybe I'm just having a weird year? And it made me realize, no, like, I need to leave what's making me so miserable and unhappy. And I think if you maybe experiment with everything that you're doing, especially since you seem to have a job that can support you financially, in your downtime, like going to a dance class or I think you mentioned ice skating. That's so cool, by the way. I cannot ice skate for the life of me. Just experimenting with all those things and then seeing what really stands out for you and then leaning more into that and then honing that craft. That put a lot of things into perspective for me, and it is now why I am a starving artist. But fortunately, I have the support of the people around me, and I have a supportive family. So if you have people around you too to lean on them, I think is huge because no one can do this alone, especially in the beginning when you're trying to figure everything out.
Yeah. Love that. Absolutely. And, you definitely want to weigh out the options of where that career path is going to take you, kind of like what Joy was just saying. So do you have the time and the skill, or the time and the resources to take on those new skills for wherever it is you want to go? And all those different things that you mentioned as far as the other avenues that you want to pursue, I highly encourage it. We highly encourage you take on those other pursuits because you never know what could come from that. Like, it's true. Like, even if you are just getting into ice skating, you find that, wow, this is a passion. Like, who knows? You might end up, doing it competitively. Now you might be getting paid for it. Now you're in the Olympics, and then you can definitely shout out Sean and Joy. We
inspired this dream.
Exactly.
Give us our credit.
Right. So, there are so many things that, you can do. So the sky is the limit. Mm-hmm. It's all about what matters most to you. So you take that into consideration and definitely, give it some thought. Talk to it. Talk about it with, your friends, your family. Even if you're in therapy, talk to it about it with your therapist.
Yes.
It's good to have different inputs, especially from the people that care and support you most. Mm-hmm. And if you're encountering people that are hating or, don't give a fuck, then
you will.
you most
you
absolutely will. You can't let the haters phase you.
No, you got to know what your heart wants and know yourself, because there will be people who will be like, you should just do marketing for the rest of your life. That's where the money is. Why would you do something that won't pay you, quote unquote? But there is money in everything. Like, I don't know if you know this, but like clowns make like $95,000 a year. So yeah, damn. Look into that shit. Cause what the fuck? So there is money in every single thing. Every single person has made their passion a job and has made a life out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It always works.
Exactly. And any career or path change, at first, of course, it's going to be a financial challenge starting off because, you're taking a whole, you're taking a whole transition of your life. So, of course, it's going to be a little tough at first.
Yes.
And, now, if you are transitioning somewhere where you're already locked in and that other career is already paying you whatever, then, go all the way the fuck off. We love that.
Yes, we do.
But if it's like, you are just crossing over and you haven't started to make income or any type of revenue stream yet, then it's going to be a little bit, I guess, you're going to have those tough times. You can't let the haters phase you. And then on top of that, if you have family and friends and people in your close life that aren't supporting you, then, you have to create a healthy distance and just focus on you. Don't let them get in the way of your career. Just like what Joy was saying earlier about how, she's not going to let anybody get in the way of the vision and the passions that she wants to pursue. And so she has set that healthy boundary for herself, which is so admirable.
It took a long time. Okay. But
it's important for us all to advocate for ourselves because no one can advocate for you better than you can for yourself.
Amen to that.
So Dreamer has to also kind of take into consideration the fact that, is it going to take a lot of your free time? Because if you're pursuing a new passion, now you have to kind of take all these moving pieces and put all that focus into a new direction. Like, is that going to take time from like your dating life, your social life, your family life? Like, what does that look like?
It's never too late. I know Dreamer mentioned somewhere in there that they feel, they just don't feel like they know which direction they're supposed to be going in right now. And I think it's really important to note that no matter how old you are, it is never too late to start something new.
Yes.
So even though you may be very into marketing right now or very into trying to figure out what your passion is, it's okay that other people have figured out their passion before you. That doesn't take from you being able to figure it out right now or in 10 years or 15 years or whatever. You just have to do what's best for you and what makes you happy at the end of the day, not what other people think is best for you, because at the end of the day, all you have is yourself. So
there you go. And your friends and family, they're going to be there for you. And if they aren't, then that's okay. Like, you just focus on you and do you. And if they are there for you, friends, families, your significant others, then that's even better because that's just more people that are in your corner advocating and helping,
We are fortunate enough though, as humans, if you don't have people in your corner who are blood given to you, that we are able to pick our own family and pick our own friends. Because there will always be people there who will support you. You'll meet friends in your ice skating class or a new coworker comes in. There will always be someone. And if you can't find anyone, you have Sean and Joy now. So
yes. At the end of the day, you're going to be okay, Dreamer. You just have to focus on you and make sure that, you have everything that you need, as far as the finances, you're planning it out. Don't just jump right on in.
Don't.
Take your time and make sure that, you are putting in the work to get to that next chapter of your life. And we can't wait to hear all about it. We're gonna. I know some way, shape, or form. We're gonna see somebody out there doing that thing. And then once you and I say, wait a minute, this person is ice skating. They're doing this, that. They're doing all.
They made a career out of all of it.
Exactly. We'll know it's you. We'll be like, yes, go all the way the fuck off. So yes, we will see you on the other side, Dreamer.
We will.
Thank you so much for submitting your story. Thank you so much to the listener for submitting your story. Again, we really appreciate it. The listeners, the viewers, everybody who is tuning in, we all resonate with it. And I know someone is out there. They're going to find this helpful, right? They're going to find
Absolutely. And if you don't, you're crazy. This was good information.
This really, really was. I think you kind of made us all look within ourselves like, wait a minute, we're going through this as well. So, yeah. And then to Joy, thank you so much for coming on to the show. I mean, I really appreciate you being here.
I appreciate you having me. This was was so fun.
Dropping all the golden nuggets of knowledge and just sharing and just being open and vulnerable. Like this is what this platform is all about, you know, and this is what friendships is about as well. Like, yes. So I really appreciate it. And so definitely share your socials, like your websites with the listeners. How can we all find you?
So I spend most of my time on Instagram at officially_justjoy. So officially, OFFICIALLY_JUSTJOY. And TikTok, which is Just Joy. All one word. I'm on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, all under Just Joy as well. My Facebook page is Official Sunflower Music because I love sunflowers, if anyone cared to know. A little fun fact.
Love that.
That's usually where I spend most of my time. If you reach out to me, you can follow me on Twitter. I don't really use it, but at least for music, I just get on there to look at the world.
Awesome. And if you're watching on YouTube, you will see all her socials and all her information pop up on the screen here. Mm-hmm. And speaking of which, like the sunflower, I always see you wearing a sunflower.
Or yellow.
Or yellow, exactly.
Yes, I have lollipop earrings on and they're yellow.
Love that. And you have the fall colors. Like
I do. It's like very Halloween-y.
Yes.
Go. I'm so ready for Halloween.
All the way off.
I love fall.
Love fall. Mm-hmm. Love it, love it, love it. And yes, to all the listeners and the viewers, like remember, you can submit your stories. There are 3 ways you can do that. You can email your story to this podcast. Now, if you don't know the email by now, I can't help you. I'm just kidding. I can help you. But so, if you want to email it, it's situationspod@gmail.com. And then if you want to send a voice note submission, you could call the hotline 312-586-2664. You just call, leave a voicemail. Some of y'all have asked, no, it's not my number. It's a hotline. It's not my personal number. It's a hotline. So leave your voice note. And then if you want to submit your story, situationspodcast.com/submit. I just gave you 3 ways to submit your stories and your questions and your icks. Give it all to
Please
us.
Send the icks.
Send the icks.
So you can send me the icks. I want to laugh.
Yes. And then, yes, if you're at home, on a plane, on a train, on a boat, hell, you're probably getting ready for work or probably getting ready to go somewhere, or you're probably on the road listening to this. Maybe Joy is in California right now, she's on a plane and she's listening to Situations podcast or whatever it is. So wherever you are, you can take Situations podcast with you. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you can find your podcast. Join the Patreon to get all the screenshots. Y'all have seen the dating app screenshots and the text messages, the receipts that I've put. Yeah, I've been putting.
Oh shit!
So if y'all want to get in on that action and see some of the stuff that I go through, or some of the stuff that our Patreon supporters go through, patreon.com/situationspodcast. So join. You can join starting at $3. That's less than a cup of coffee. Come on.
And gas.
And gas, exactly.
And eggs.
And literally everything.
What is happening?
If you want to help this podcast grow, you may be asking, Sean and Joy, for you both to be giving us such, buckets of knowledge and from your own perspective and opinions, how can we ever repay you? Well, there is a Cash App, but I'm just saying.
I do have Venmo.
Right? We do take Venmo. Yeah. But the other way that you can help, support us and to support this show is by tuning into Joy's music. She just gave you all the things. That's how you can help. You can help support this show by, rating, reviewing, and subscribing, So you can do that. And then for Shani Do Music, shanido.com. You can find all my stuff there.
You got to look out for the collab.
Right. Look out for the collab. I've never promoted any of my music on this podcast. Like, what am I doing?
Hey!
What am I doing? I am a bad host for myself.
That's crazy.
I'm terrible at self-promotion.
I'm glad that I have inspired you.
Yes, you have. And then get the merch for the podcast as well. All right. And so also stick around after the show because we are going to play Joy's latest single.
Oh, yeah. It's called h.p.r. Hopeless, Pessimistic, Romantic.
Hear her new track.
Hopeless, pessimistic, romantic. It's nice to meet you. Pure tequila, tell me about yourself. Small talks are living hell. Your hand reaching, my teeth clenching, bored out of my mind. Guess interesting's hard to find. Fourth time this week, I'm over it. It gets much better than this. Green eyes locked in, one drink too deep. Overshares from my vulnerability. Real or fake impact for the bracing. I try to hold on, I try to hold on. Crack in, crack out for survival of a hopeless, pessimistic, romantic. So how's your week been? Here we go again, but something's different. You're piquing my interest. Deja vu, nostalgia too. What am I worried for? Green eyes locked in, one drink too deep. Overshares from my vulnerability. Real or fake impact for the bracing. I try to hold on, I try to hold on. Soft skin, cracked lips, wine that is cheap. But my glass is always half empty. Cracking, crack out, force of habit of a hopeless, pessimistic, romantic.
Thank you all so much for tuning in. Enjoy. That song.
Thank you. Thank you. I love it. I love it.
So, we really appreciate you all tuning in. Continue to support the arts. And yes, we love you all so very much. And yeah, I will see you all back here for the next episode in a couple of weeks. Woo!